The Invisible Enemy has got to be the worst Doctor Who story we've seen in quite some time. Since the start of the colour era, there's been a basic level of quality that the show has rarely dipped below. But this is a new low, and I have a horrible feeling there's a lot more like it still to come. On the plus side, the first 2 episodes are not too bad, introducing a seemingly unstoppable alien force that infects every single character except for Leela, including the Doctor. The model work is pretty good, with some excellent shots of spacecraft taking off and landing, and the pacing is admirably fast, moving from a spaceship to the Titan base to the hospital in rapid succession. The final 2 episodes are where it all falls apart, as clones of the Doctor and Leela are injected into the Doctor's brain. It's a hugely ambitious idea, and it would be hard to pull off nowadays with the Disney Plus budget. In 1977 they had no chance. I mean, they try their best with the sets, but the antibodies just look like little white balloons attacking the Doctor, which is just silly. And if that wasn't bad enough, the nucleus takes physical form as a giant prawn, which not only looks ridiculous but can barely move without support. And it's all filmed in very harsh lighting, which means you can make out every single detail. The ending also leaves a bad taste in the mouth. After spending most of the story trying to create an antidote for the nucleus, that all turns out to be completely irrelevant in the end, and the Doctor ends up blowing up the Titan base to save the day. It's a jarring change from the usual ending, where he uses his intelligence and cunning to beat the bad guys, and hopefully it's not something that will be repeated anytime soon. On the bright side, this is K9's first story, and he is definitely one of the highlights. I haven't always been a fan. I liked him when I was a kid, but then as I got a bit older I thought he was just embarrassing and childish. I remember all the kids at school who hated Doctor Who used to call it that show with a stupid robot dog. So that definitely sounded me on him for a while. But now I'm an adult, I'm a fan once again. It's a great design, absolutely iconic, and works far better than the later CGI redesign. And John Leeson voices the character with a dry wit that makes him highly endearing. The engine does make quite a lot of noise whenever he moves, but I think they do fix that along the way. It's also been a boon for the toy makers. I'm not the kind of person to buy up Doctor Who action figures and miniature TARDISes, but I thought I could use a bit of help to get through the next few years. So I couldn't resist picking up this little guy. I don't know if you can see him here. So tiny, so cute. And UK9. The 2 main guest actors are both familiar faces, as they were last in the show 2 years earlier. Michael Shade was in Pyramids of Mars as Lawrence Scarman. Now he's playing Commander Lowe, who starts off as quite a sympathetic character, but then once he gets possessed, he's reduced to just shouting a lot for the rest of the show. Frederick Jago is also back. He played Professor Sorensen in Planet of Evil, and now he's playing Professor Marius. So clearly he's the go-to guy to play mad professors. This time round the character is a lot more likeable. He's very much the eccentric uncle type this time. His joke at the end about K9 being TARDIS trained is rather ill-judged. It could have worked if it came from Leela or even the Doctor, but Marius built K9, so it makes absolutely no sense. The DVD has about an hour's worth of extras. There's a 20-minute documentary, which is mainly about the creation of K9. You get to see the designer taking the original model for a spin, and it also talks about how the director was totally unfamiliar with working with visual effects, which explains a lot. There's 20 minutes of raw black and white footage from the studio recordings, which is mainly for the completists. There's a 15-minute feature about the model effects, and there's also a great clip of K9 appearing on Blue Peter, leaving John Noakes' dog Shet extremely confused. Overall, it's not completely awful, but definitely not one that I would recommend to new viewers, or indeed old viewers for that matter. So I'll give it a 3. Next week it's Image of the Fendal. I think that's a good one. It couldn't possibly be that much worse. Meanwhile, you can check out the playlist linked in the description to see all my Doctor Who reviews so far. And I'll see you next time.